the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Can we go back? This is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Nah, can I kick it? Thank you, yeah. I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me. Go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on Shark Week. Raw, time to go off, gone. Deuces goodbye. I got a world to see. And my girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer. Nah, I never ever did it for a throne. That validation comes from giving it back to the people. Now sing this song and it goes like, raise those hands, this is our party. We came here to live life like nobody was watching. I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. Learn from that failure, gain humility, and then we keep marching.
Can we go back? This is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
So we put our hands up. So we put our hands up.
Let's go. And all my people say, that's right. And all my people say, and all my people say,
I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. You're on a different road. I'm in the Milky Way. You want me down on Earth, but I am up in space. You're so damn hard to please. We gotta kill this switch. You're from the 70s, but I'm a 90s chick. I love it. I love it. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. Please take your seats. Thank you.
Freedom is within you. Giving makes us feel good. Hello to our people. Say hello to the future. Loving every minute 'cause you make me feel so.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes.
And now, please welcome to the stage your MC and CPRS Executive Director, Stephanie Stevens.
Good morning, CPRS family. How are you all doing today? What do you think of this new setup we have here? I know the energy in here is amazing and you all look fabulous. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to the 2019 CPRS Conference and Expo. As the voice of God said, I am Stephanie Stevens, your Executive Director, and I'm going to be your conference guide for the next hour and a half. And boy, do we have a great show for you today. So this is the last time you're going to be sitting here in Sacramento for a little bit. When we return to Sacramento in 2022, you will be sitting in a brand new conference center with a whole brand new redesigned landscape in downtown. Isn't that exciting? I know, we're looking forward to that. So what that means is we're going to be down south for a couple of years. Still a surprise where we're going to be in 21, but we will let you know about that in plenty of time. So thank you so much to the City of Sacramento for hosting us, and we're glad to be here. I wanted to spend just a few minutes telling you about what's been happening at CPRS lately, what we've been up to at headquarters and with all of our leaders. Over the past 7 years, I pulled this stat up, we have gained 1,000 new CPRS family members. Over 1,000. Isn't that impressive? I know it really is. Yes. Now, we've seen over the last year, things have slowed down just a little bit, but we still anticipate ending the year higher than where we were at last year. So, again, congratulate yourselves for adding that many members to our family over the last 7 years. Between our districts, our regions, our sections, and headquarters, we have offered you over 300 educational opportunities this last year, and 320 of you have served in some kind of a leadership capacity. Give yourselves another round of applause for taking advantage of that. We launched our California Action Plan this last year and 5 toolboxes. Now, if you have not taken the opportunity to look at our toolboxes yet, I'm going to invite you to do so. In fact, you're not going to offend me if you pull out your phones and look at them right now. So, if you want to learn how to advocate, collaborate, communicate, educate, or innovate, please check out our toolboxes. There are tools in there for every single one of you, whether you are maintaining a park, or you are a director, or you're teaching swimming lessons. We've got a tool in there for every single one of you. This last year, we also launched RecTalks Live. Where's District 3? District 3's in the house. District 3 took our Innovate toolbox and our RecTalks, and they created RecTalks Live. Did anybody in here attend that? All the folks over here. So if you would like to participate in a RecTalks Live or host one for yourself, these folks actually even created a whole booklet to show you how to do that, and I'm sure they'd be willing to share with you, wouldn't you? Very good. They inspired this morning, too. We've got 3 different keynote speakers for you this morning. 15 minutes, jam-packed, full of education from 3 different speakers this morning. Let's see, the last thing we did this year was, I don't know, some little funding mechanism. Does anybody know what that's called? I don't think I remember what that is. What's that big bond that we just did? Prop 68, thank you. If you don't know what Prop 68 is all about, we've got plenty of folks here that are going to tell you. We've got sessions about it, and our advocacy team will be in our expo hall right next door, and they're going to be able to tell you exactly how to take advantage of all of those Prop 68 funds. In August, we took a moment to listen to you. We wanted to hear what you had to say. What was going well with your CPRS membership experience, and what could we work on? What we heard from you was that 98% of you said that, let's see, what did you tell me? 98% of you said that you would recommend CPRS membership to somebody who didn't already have one. That tells us that there's value in our membership, right? If you're willing to put your neck out on the line to say, join CPRS, that means there's value. 83% of you said that you joined CPRS for the one simple reason of building relationships. Dare I say, connecting? Isn't that what this week's all about? Connections? Absolutely. And 84% of you said you would pull money out of your own pocket to pay for your membership if you needed to. Again, that tells us that there's value in what we're offering and what each one of you offer each other as CPRS members. So thank you very much for that. Now, it's not all rainbows and roses, and we understand that, and we know that technology is a challenge. So please know that over the next year, we are going to be working hard on our technology and our website experience so that you can enjoy that experience with us at CPRS headquarters. Thank you so much for that. Okay. I would like to share with you a story. This past year hasn't been without its challenges for each of you and your communities between fires and floods, activating emergency operations procedures, and many of you having to put aside your own personal needs to take care of your communities and help a community heal. Probably about a month after the Camp Fire devastated the poor little town of Paradise, I was chatting on the phone with Dan Efseef, the director of the Paradise Parks and Recreation District. Dan, are you in the room? There's Dan. So everybody say hi to Dan over there, right? So Dan and I are chatting, and he's telling me all these stories of what his staff was going through, of what the community was going through. And about halfway through the conversation, he just says, "Parks save lives." And I said, "You know, you're absolutely right, Dan. I completely agree with you. Parks do save lives in so many ways." He's like, "No, Steph. Parks literally saved lives during our fire. There was a group of folks who were trying to get out of a neighborhood, and they couldn't get out. It was completely surrounded by fire. There was just nowhere for them to go. So what they did was turn around, and they retreated into their neighborhood park. There happened to be a picnic shelter there that had a storage closet, luckily water hookup, and a hose. They holed up there while everything around them burned. They survived because of the work that Dan and his crew did, because of the fire mitigation plan that they had, and because of the way they maintained that park. Those folks survived in that park. It literally saved their lives. Right? I know. If you ever, for one iota of a second, think that what you do doesn't matter, I want you to remember that story. Remember that every single thing that you do, every single day matters in the lives of the community that you serve and in the people that you work with. So please always remember that story. And Dan, thank you for sharing that story with us. Now, share your Kleenex with the person next to you, because I see some people need to, and that's okay. I get chills every time I even remember that story. And please, tell the person next to you how much they matter. Thank you. Right? I know. All right, you do matter every single day. Very good. All right, kids, are you ready to get on with this show? Yes, I am too. Very good. So, as you all know in this room, no special event goes on without great partners and great sponsors, right? I know we couldn't do what we do without all of our great sponsors, and we have a special one here today. Our friends from Landscape Structures really stepped up to the plate when we said, you know what, we want to try something new this year. And they stepped up and helped us build this brand new opening general session experience. So please welcome to the stage and thank our friends Lynn P. from Landscape Structures.
Thank you, Stephanie. And thanks, CPRS. Wow, what a crew. Thank you. This is exciting to see. As Stephanie said, I'm Lynn P., actually Lynn Penonomy, but you can understand why I told her to just say Lynn P. We are really excited to be a part of this, and I'm an employee owner at Landscape Structures, along with 500 other employees. Yes, we are it's 100% owned by employees, our company is. That's pretty cool. We create playground equipment, splash pads, and also shade. But the bigger picture is that our goal is to really be able to shape kids' lives. And in a minute, I'm going to show you, a couple minutes, I'm going to show you a video that really talks about that power of play and the whole shaping kids' lives. But first, I'd like to invite all of you to, for a minute, think back to your childhood. So think back to play experiences from your childhood. It could be swimming lessons or maybe playing on a high slide at your playground or something. But for a minute, close your eyes. So everybody close your eyes. And just for 5 seconds, think about how that experience shaped your life. Okay, open your eyes. How many of you agree that play shaped your life? Raise your hand. Yeah, of course it did, right? There are so many things that play creates when you think about learning how to take turns, leading, following, all of that human interaction that's the exact opposite of couch time, right? I mean, think about that. There is a lot of power in play. So, and as you can think through, that's what you and park professionals do every single day. It's so easy, isn't it, to get caught up in all of those things. I'm sure right now you have things thinking about your to-dos for the day and what you should be doing later on in the day. And the amazing thing is that all together you have created this amazing opportunity for kids and for all people to make it have a difference. I think everything's off of my screen, so I'm not sure what happened there. But so another thing I wanted to talk about is that a few years ago, we set out to start a dialogue to really think about all of this in the playground industry. And we created a video that talked about For a Better Tomorrow. We played a day, and I think maybe many of you saw that last year. I think we showed it last year. And so now we have a sequel. We actually like to call it a short movie. And I had mentioned to you that we're going to do that shortly. But many of you probably had seen that other one. And this one really talks about the investment in our kids, our community, and our future world. So we're celebrating how play brings all kids together and shapes them into thinkers, dreamers, and leaders. So let's roll the movie.
Play never told me you can't, or don't, or you shouldn't, or you won't. Play never said, be careful. You're not strong enough. You're not big enough. You're not brave enough. Play has always been an invitation, a celebration, a joyous manifestation of the cans and wills and what ifs and why nots. Play isn't one thing. It's everything, anything. Play doesn't care what a body can or cannot do, because play lives inside us. All of us. Play begs of us. Learn together. Grow together. Be together. Know together. And as we grow older, as the world comes at us with you can't, or don't, or you shouldn't, or you won't, we come back to what we know. That imagination will never fail us. That words will never hurt us. That play will always shape us.
I don't know about you, but that video gets me every time right here. Like, especially when we talk about what that play doesn't care, what a body can or cannot do. And really, because play lives inside of all of us, and play truly doesn't care. So thank you for the important role that you play. And we would love it if you would please stop by to see our booth and tell us what your favorite line from this movie was. And also, even more importantly, talk with our reps. We have some awesome reps here in California, Coast Recreation and Rec West and Ross Recreation. And maybe connect with them and come visit us in Minnesota. We would love to show you. Oh yeah, no, Minnesota's a great place, I promise, right? Maybe not in the winter, but in the summer. Come and visit us. We would love, on behalf of all of the 500 employees, we would love to show you in person our passion for play. So thank you, California. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Lynn, and all of our friends from Landscape Structures. We certainly do appreciate you. Wow, what an exciting morning. I am standing here with just two of our many conference experience builders. Ladies, how are you today?
Excellent. Awesome.
Great. What are you looking forward to most this week?
The social on Thursday.
All right, let's just be honest, right? We're here to socialize. We're calling it networking this week, okay? Very good. So if anybody in this room has had anything to do with planning this conference, please stand up and take a bow. All of our conference committee folks. Yes. Look at these beautiful people. These folks are your conference experience builders, and we absolutely appreciate all the time, energy, and effort you have put into that. So one more reason that we gather here every year, aside from the great socials, is to celebrate the amazing people in our association. And here to recognize our 2018 Fellow Award winner is your CPRS President, Mr. Henry Perez Alonso.
Hi, everybody. It is my pleasure and my honor to present the Fellow Award to Mr. Paul Romero. Now, Paul Romero has been a role model and mentor to many, many parks and recreation professionals in his many venues in this industry. He's guided and taught many of us countless things that can help our local communities on a daily basis. He showed us class and dignity while having fun and interacting with us on a personal and as well as a professional level. Now, Paul has been a key decision maker in California for a better park and recreation environment today. He has led an association of commissioners and board members to be more interactive and more educated in our responsibilities and community work. He has worked with both sides of the political discussion to inform and educate about legislative packages that have involved park and recreation industry. He is respected by elected leaders, appointed leaders, community members, and his peers in the industry. He's respected by many of us, and we are so fortunate to have Mr. Paul Romero here. So ladies and gentlemen, our fellow award, Paul Romero.
Thank you all. It's amazing that I get the opportunity to stand in front of you and accept this award. I'm really proud to be named the fellow for 2018. I'm also quite honored to be added to the Hall of Fame list. I hope all of you have that same opportunity. It'll be one hell of a list. I want to thank Steve Hoagland from the Ambrose Recreation and Park District for nominating me. And I also want to recognize and thank Doug Grove and Ann Dunleavy for choosing me to be this year's recipient. No one really gets an award without the hard work of others, so I'd like to share this recognition with Riverside County, Santa Clara County, and California State Parks. Collectively, they achieved a great deal, and I got credit for it, but it was their hard work that allowed me to be up here. I also want to thank all of you for sharing this moment with me. It's really incredible. It's a memory that I plan to relive over and over and over again the rest of my life. Enjoy your conference.
Congratulations, Paul. We welcome you to our Fellow and Hall of Fame. We do have that posted up at headquarters if you ever happen to be in the area and would like to come see that. Come see us at headquarters. I am in the midst of some greatness right here. Do you all know this gentleman? No. Tell me who you are.
No. I am Chris Beth.
CPRS past president, Chris Beth. Yes. So, Chris, tell me, what's the one thing you learned as a CPRS leader?
My gosh, just the emphasis that we are an essential service in all of our communities. And it doesn't matter if you lead at the district level, the state level, you are all leaders in your own community, and we make a positive difference.
Very good, and thank you so much for your service. We appreciate that. All right, speaking of greatness, this next speaker served as our executive director for 27 years, and she laid the groundwork for many great leaders to come. Please welcome back to the CPRS stage, Miss Jane Addams.
Climbing the tree, climbing the tree.
Good morning, CPRS. Oh my God, I am so happy to be here. It's so wonderful to see you. It really, really is. I can't believe it's been 5 years, and I can't believe I have tears in my eyes. So, I bet you're all wondering what I've been doing, right? Well, I don't know. I mean, I will tell you, I do know what I've been doing. But I want to say that you all look marvelous. You look absolutely stellar. So whatever it is you're doing, keep doing. Keep it up, keep it up. But I want to tell you that I've become a hiker. I know everybody thought I was a biker, right? Everybody thought I rode my bike. But I also have become a hiker. And about 6 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go up to Mendocino to the North Coast. Oh my God, I love those redwoods. And we had a break in the weather, so we jumped in the car and quick drove to the trailhead, and everybody leaped out of the car like like one of those Chinese fire drills, and everybody headed up the path. And so we were about a half mile into the walk, and everybody was ahead of me, and I stopped and went, wait a minute, you got to kind of get where you are right now. We're rushing it, I don't know why. And so I stopped, and I took a deep breath, and I closed my eyes, and I let it out. And then all of a sudden, my nose picked up the smell of the forest. I could smell the dampness of the earth. I could smell the ferns and the moss. And I could smell the redwoods. Then all of a sudden, my ears woke up, and I could hear the sound of the birds up high in the tree canopy. And then I slowly opened my eyes and looked around, and I noticed that tree and that tree and that tree and that tree. And I just stood there and just looked at them, and I thought, wow, they're a community. Yeah, we call it a forest, but in essence, it's a community of trees. And it kind of changed my perspective of the rest of my walk. I kept looking around thinking they're a community because they're sharing the same air, and they're sharing the ground, and they're sharing the water. And I thought to myself, it's a lot like us. You know, we are a community. We share the same resources, and we share information back and forth. And then a week later, I stumbled upon, amazingly enough, a TED Talk. And it was from a scientist who's been studying trees up in the North Woods for a number of years. And so she discovered through her research that trees talk to each other. Who would have thought that trees talk to each other? So through her research, she learned that a tree can send out a signal and say, hey, I need some nitrogen, or hey, I need some carbon, or hey, I need some water, or hey, watch out, I'm being attacked by insects and they're coming your way. And they do this through their root system. So underneath the ground, unbeknownst to us, these trees are talking to each other, and they're sharing resources. And that really kind of reaffirmed my sense that we too, you know, trees are a community. And just like us, we share our resources and we are connected through our roots. So this session is in 3 parts. It's the past, the present, and the future. And my job, of course, is to talk about the past. What better person to talk about the past than me? And so I had to refresh my memory about the history of Parks and Recreation. So I did that. So I learned that in 1889, 26 park directors got together in Boston. They were from the New England area. They got together in Boston, and they discussed issues and problems and looked for solutions. And then they toured Boston parks. And I thought, wow, that's probably the first park conference ever, 1889. Then at that same, right after that, during that time period up until like the 1920s, the Public Playground Association of America was formed. The city of Los Angeles created its Playground Commission, go LA. And then the National Park Service was created. And there were around 100 cities said they had park systems at the turn of the century. And now I'm going to fast forward up in the 1930s up to the year 2000s. And so during that time, well, but prior to that, the National Park Service was created in 1916 as well. And so in the 1930s, early 30s, there was around 1,700 cities had park systems. So we're beginning to see some growth, right? And now we think there's around 5,000 cities. We're not sure. We think it's around 5,000 cities in the US have park and recreation systems. The California Recreation Society was created, which then became CPRS, the organization we know today. Colleges and universities began their development of undergraduate and graduate curriculums in parks and recreation management. And then the Land and Water Conservation Fund was created. Now, during this period of growth, we've had some fires and we had some droughts, and definitely we had some clear cutting. A big clear cut came in 1978 when Californians passed Prop 13. Overnight, property tax revenues were cut by 57%. I had some friends at the time who were working, and they were literally told, if Prop 13 passes today, don't come to work tomorrow because you won't have a job. It was swift. It hurt. We got rid of a lot of free programs. They're gone. We had to start charging. We had to start charging for classes and programs and facilities and services. And it has taken CPRS, so CPRS recovered. The Parks Recreation recovered because we began that kind of entrepreneurial model that we still use today. And so then we clicked along, right? We recovered from that, and we clicked along, and then we came to 2008. And I remember standing at the Long Beach conference and saying to all of you, we're 4,000 members, woohoo! We were so excited. We were just, oh my God, we were so happy. What a milestone for us to get to 4,000 members. Does anyone know remember what else happened in 2008? The Great Recession. It's yesterday, right? In 1 year, CPRS lost 25% of its members, which meant you too suffered. You suffered greatly. Staff were gone. Money for operations and maintenance and development and everything was gone. And it has taken CPRS 10 years, as Stephanie announced earlier this morning, 10 years for CPRS to get back up over 4,000 members. So again, we recover, right? We recover. We had a new administration come into Washington, D.C., and then we're having some other problems now too, right? There's been hits on environmental regulations that are affecting our water and our air. There are threats to our national lands in terms of mining and drilling, and boundaries of some of our national parks are being shrunk. But there were a couple bright spots. And again, Stephanie alluded to it earlier, and that was in 2018, Californians passed Prop 68. So you guys now get $4 freaking billion. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of money. So you're getting $4 billion for parks and water projects. And also in 2018, Land and Water Conservation Fund, which was started in 1965, did not get reauthorized by Congress, which meant the program was gone. It was gone. Then, though, we had a bright spot. Legislation was introduced in 2018, and then just 2 weeks ago, President Trump signed into law the bill that will permanently reauthorize the Land and Water Conservation Fund and permanently set aside 40% of that money for stateside assistance, which we hope will trickle down to us. So there is some good news. There is some good news. So when we talk about the past, we often talk about just like I did, right? Dates and places, right? This happened when, da 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 da. But what's missing, I think, that gives our past depth and perception is stories about people. So I want to share with you stories about 4 people who I believe have made a tremendous impact on this profession. The first person I want to talk about is a gentleman named Ernst T. Atwell. AT he was called, and AT was working for the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, and that work called him, the state of Alabama said, we want you to come work for us, so he started working for the state of Alabama as an assistant food administrator. That work there led to Herbert Hoover, who was then the head of the U.S. Food Administration, to call AT to Washington, D.C. and work with him. This was right at the start of World War I, to start a national campaign on the conservation of food targeted to African Americans. So AT went to Washington, D.C. and did that work. His work there came to the attention of the National Recreation Association, and they asked AT to come to work for him because his work in racial well-being was becoming recognized. So AT went to work for NRA, the National Recreation Association, and he was the director of what they called their Bureau of Colored Work. And during that time, AT transitioned 27 temporary war community service centers into permanent ones, and in 7 years, he added 75 more centers. AT is considered to be one of the most influential people in this profession that has focused on the well-being of all in a community, not just one segment, but all. AT believes strongly in local leadership, so he, through the National Recreation School, increased the number of African American leaders from a mere 35 to over 400. He did that work until he passed away in 1949. My next story is about a woman named Dorothy Endress. Dorothy Endress was a school teacher for the Milwaukee Public Schools in the 1920s. She was asked to come in and to develop after-school programs. And she did that, and that work then led her to become eventually the director of the Municipal Recreation and Adult Extension Department for the Milwaukee Public Schools. And that program still exists today. During her leadership, the number of after-school programs for children grew to 26 at 26 schools and at 62 playgrounds. Dorothy is considered the mother of the lighted schoolhouse. If you have a partnership with your local school district, trust me, you can thank Dorothy Endress for her leadership, drive, and determination. My third story is about a woman named Beatrice Hill. Beatrice went to visit a friend in a New York City hospital who was recovering from tuberculosis. This was in the 1940s. When Beatrice went to see her friend, she noticed the other patients in the ward were bored and unstimulated. And Beatrice felt that if your body was healing, your mind needed to be involved as well. And so she volunteered to set up recreation programs in 2 New York City hospitals. The chief hospital administrator heard of that work and asked her to come to work for him. So over the course of her work there, she set up recreation programs in every New York City hospital. Her work there came to the attention of, again, of the National Recreation Association, and they asked her to come to work for them and to lead their hospital recreation division. During her time there, Beatrice received hundreds of calls from hospitals and nursing homes and community organizations around the country asking for help. Beatrice is credited with producing the first film on the therapeutic value of recreation. She wrote the first book on hospital recreation, and she wrote monthly columns in the Recreation magazine. So if you work with a disabled population or you work in a clinical setting, you can thank Beatrice for her leadership, determination, and drive. My last story is about a gentleman that I had the pleasure of meeting several times. His name is William Penn Mott Jr. Bill came to California to study landscape architecture at UC Berkeley. And after he finished that, he went to work for the National Park Service as a landscape architect. And then that work involved too much trouble. He had young kids. So he left and he started his own landscape architectural firm. That then led to the city of Oakland asking him to become their park superintendent. And he did that for 17 years. Oakland rose to national prominence under Bill's leadership. He also created Children's Fairyland, which is considered to be a predecessor to what we know now as Disneyland. And that program still exists today. Bill then went over to the East Bay Regional Park District and served as their general manager. And in 5 years, he grew that district by 10,000 acres. In 5 years, he added 10,000 acres. Then Bill received a phone call from Governor Ronald Reagan, who asked him to come to work for the California Department of Parks and Recreation, or we call it California State Parks. And Bill did that. While he was there, he created the California State Park Foundation, which still is in existence today. He later came back and served as its president and CEO. And we know that the State Park Foundation is a leading advocate and funder for our California State Park system. Not done yet, Bill then went to Moraga, California, they wanted to set up a prototype of a park and recreation department that could be replicated anywhere in the country, and Bill did that. He got another call from President Ronald Reagan, who said, "We want you to come to Washington and run the National Park Service." Bill moved to DC. If you remember the Reagan administration, it was less government, we want to cut government, we have too much government. Bill said, absolutely not. We're going to increase services, we're going to increase our programs. He increased interpretation, and the number of visitors to our national parks rose tremendously during his leadership. Bill is also the director that reintroduced wolves into Yellowstone National Park. Amazingly enough, Bill's last job was to serve as a consultant for the National Park Service in the transition of the Presidio from a major military installation to a national urban park. So why do I tell you these stories, right? Why are these stories important to us? For me, they inspire me. They tell me that others have come before, others have put down their roots into this profession, so we too can draw upon them. We can draw upon them for inspiration and leadership and passion. The Bills and the ATs and the Beatrices, there's hundreds of stories like this in this profession, but we fail to tell them. And I think we make a mistake when we don't do that. They have legacies, right? They've created legacies. So my question to you is, what's going to be your legacy? If you've been working in this profession for more than 1 month, you have already started to build your legacy. The work you did last year, the work you did last month, last week, and even yesterday is building your legacy. Are you proud of it? Are you happy with it? I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. You know, Anybody got a to-do list? Yeah? I don't know. It's as long as your arm, right? It's as long as your arm. You go to work with full intention of getting that to-do list tackled, right? And then you drive home at the end of the day, and you sit in your driveway and go, what in the world did I get done today? Is anybody, I see some, yeah, we've all been there, right? That's what happens. These day-to-day tasks and responsibilities, they weigh us down. They cause our shoulders to go, ugh, you know, ugh. So these stories about our past, these stories about our legacy can help us rekindle that passion, can help us rekindle our purpose, and can help us refocus our vision on what we're doing is so critically important. I just read the novel The Overstory by Richard Powers, a powerful novel about people and trees. I seem to be on a roll here with trees. And he had this wonderful line I love in this book. It says, we live between three trees. One tree stands in front of us, which represents our future. One tree stands behind us, and that represents our past. And one tree is right next to us, which represents the now. The past impacts the present, and the present impacts our future. So the past of the A.T.s and the Beatrices and the Dorothys and the Bills and the thousands of other people who came before us are there. They're our root system that we can draw upon for courage, inspiration, and passion. The now is right here. We're in the now, right here. Those of you in this room, we're here in the now. And our future, oh my gosh, our future is bright. It's great. And you know why? Because of you and you and you and you and you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jane, for reminding us all that we do leave a legacy every single day and that we have that root system to call upon. All right, how many of you are served in a leadership role in the last year? If so, please stand up right now and be applauded. All of our leaders, anybody who served in a leadership role this last year. I know, aren't these beautiful people? Thank you so much. Talk about some roots that you can call upon right there. So, our top leader this year brought us together in 5-minute increments. Please welcome back to the stage from the town of Danville, your CPRS president, Mr. Henry Perez Alonso.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments, oh dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure right here?
Wow. Anybody else feel that? Wow. It's so good to see you guys. It really is. It's so good to see you guys. So good to see so many familiar faces. I got the opportunity to stand right out front on the doors. People were walking in, smiling, the energy, the awe that you guys all give. It's been an amazing year. It's been a year that I'm not really sure I can describe completely to each and every one of you, but I know that it is something that has meant a lot to me personally. I want to thank you guys for a great ride. So much for everything that you've done. For those folks that I was able to visit this year and hang out with at so many different events, it was awesome. Great to see you. Hi, nice to see you again. To the staff, the town of Danville, you guys rock. If it's not for you guys, I probably couldn't have been over here doing the thing. So thank you so much. To the CPRS staff, who does a wonderful, wonderful job for each one of you. Please give a big round for the CPRS staff, for Steph and the staff. To try and measure a year, to try and measure the year that we've had, It's kind of hard. I had to think about, how do you really do that? How is something like that measured? How is a year that you get to go up and down the state and meet professionals and lead a group of amazing folks on the board? How do you measure that kind of stuff? I kind of took a look at this year and I decided, okay, I want to measure it in a couple different ways. There's 3 ways that I want to measure it. One way that I want to measure it is going to be in leadership. The first way is in leadership. For those who I served with, for all of the presidents of the districts, I know you guys are out there. Put your hands up. Thank you guys so much for all that you did this year. You guys were fantastic. We'll recognize you in 1 second. The leadership of this organization is amazing. And for those of you that are looking upon them and going, man, I wish I could do that, you can. Let me start now and call you to service and say, come on, serve on those boards, serve on those committees, be a part of this. Be a part of the leadership. Be a part of these people right here who I actually had the pleasure of sharing the title with throughout the year. District 1, Aaron Stroud. District 2, Terry DeRosier. District 3, Adam Chow. District 4, Nicola Christie. District 5, Brandy Clark. District 6, Jenny Vivenzi. District 7, Teresa Johnson. District 8, Danielle June. District 9, Clavon Jubri. District 10, Monica Ortiz. District 11, Victoria Reina. District 12, Johnny Chow. District 13, Gina Hernandez. District 14, Juan Guzman. And District 15, Lauren Cronk. And your section leaders, the aquatic section, Chad Gunter. Development Operations, Raquel Zapata. Education section, Dr. Chris Chamberlain. Recreation Therapy, John Class. Administrator section, Kim Castro. The Aging section, Tiffany Starks. And the Recreation section, Michael Moran. I also want to bring up some of the greatest people that I know, some people that inspire me every day, some people who I love dearly, and I'm going to miss incredibly, although we're still going to be around doing stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me and welcome onto the stage your board of directors from 2018-19, starting off with your president-elect, Liddy Gutfeld, Vice President Tara G, Secretary-Treasurer Stephanie House, Region 1 Rep Cindy Bagley, Region 2 Rep Jenny Tucker, Region 3 Rep Dr. Brandon Taylor, Region 4 Rep Downtown Kyla Brown, Region 5 Rep Frank Carson, Pancho, our Council of Section Representatives Helen Hernandez and Dr. Chris Chamberlain. Ladies and gentlemen, please, humongous round of applause for your 2018-19 Board of Directors. Thank you so much for coming out here. I got to tell you, these people are amazing, amazing. How do we measure a year? How do we measure that year? We talked about leadership and folks just like that. We also do about what do our boards accomplish? What do we do? What is it that we do when we are part of a board, and how do we measure that success? It's the things that we did. This year was the first year for every district and section to have a full presidential series, a vice president, a president-elect, and a president. So give them a round of applause, because those folks that stepped up for the VP job, they don't know what they're into, but they're getting in. Our board right here, what we did this year, what we did for you is we laid the groundwork. We laid the groundwork to help linkage become stronger in the future. We looked to make things easier. We looked for efficiencies. We looked for things that were going to be relevant to the members, to each and every one of you. We talked about elections. We talked about term limits for the state board. We talked about bylaws. Again, we set the groundwork for others to follow so that we can make things better in the future. A goal of mine was to be able to hand this organization off a little bit better? Could I move the dial? Could I do something that was going to let Liddy and her crew do something more? Stephanie talked about the CAP. We've got toolboxes. We've got tools in there. Keep filling them up. Keep using them. We had our membership survey. We heard from you. We heard what you wanted. We heard what it is that you need from us, and now is the time for your board and for your leaders to take that and move that to the next level and start doing something about it. Yes, we were good. Yes, we were excellent, but we want to be outstanding. We want to go from good to great. Wouldn't you agree? That's what we want to do. The coolest thing, though, too, as I told you, I went up and down the state and visited with many of you, but I wasn't the only one. We visited with you. You allowed us and welcomed us into your trainings, into your events. Our board was present, and I hope you guys felt that. I know that for sure, with all the major events that happened with the regions and the sections, we had more than one person, at least more than one of the board members were attending. I know one of them, almost half the board were there. We were present with you. So how do you measure a year? It's in how we do it. How do we continue to measure it? How we do some things right now is fantastic. I wanted to recognize a few of those folks. We had the Board Education Awards. Those award winners for a single topic focus, they talked about it earlier, the District 3 for the RecTalk Lives. A great event. For a multi-topic category, District 10 had their Recreation Leader Training Consortium. And for the region and section event, Region 4, their mini conference. That's right, Districts 11, 13, and 14. Coming together to make things happen and show us what one CPRS is all about. Congratulations to you. A couple of folks we do want to also mention, some honorable mentions. District 15, where are you guys? All of you? Yeah. Yeah, it's tough coming up from the Middle Kingdom, but they're here. District 15, highest percentage of growth with 15% of members, so thank you, District 15. District 7, are you out there? All right, there's a couple of you. District 7, they took on a community service project this year. They took on a family. They adopted a family. The board received information on a single mom who had 2 daughters who had to move from Fresno, from the Bay Area to Fresno. They were able to, during the holiday time, collect everything on their wish list, and that board came together to wrap those presents for that mom and those 2 daughters so that they had a special Christmas and a special time, because we had a district that cared, because that's what we do. We make lives better, and that's exactly what they did. So congratulations to those award winners and to the folks that we mentioned right here. Every year, a president has the opportunity to give awards, which is kind of cool. They told me that. I'm like, sweet. But then you also have to think about who are those people that you want to award or recognize. So you look back on your career, you look back on the people that have impacted you in one way or another. And it's been kind of cool to see the folks out there when you think about it. The first person that I want to talk about is Jordana Friedman from the city of Redwood City. And I know there's some folks out here right now from Redwood City. Jordana was one of those first people that when social media kind of came out, part of her job was marketing. She got on it and quick. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Redwood City's marketing campaigns, but they're on the social media. Those guys are tight. They've got it so much, they've got a big old crew now, from my understanding, right? So she just sits back and does nothing now, which is, I guess, all right. Just kidding, Jordana. She's not here, so I can say that. I wanted to recognize her for being a trendsetter, for being somebody who started right off the bat, and I don't even know that she asked permission much. I think she just did it. And sometimes we kind of do that, and we learn, and we do, and she set the trends for the rest of us to follow. She was someone that I want to recognize, so please put your hands together for Jordana Friedman for being a trendsetter. Another person that's not with us today, she was unable to make it, but Marie Knight from the city of Huntington Beach. Yeah, right? You just hear her name, and you're like, man, that woman just inspires you. She is the lady that I would say is the storyteller, the grand storyteller, and she encourages each one of us to share our own story. I heard her for the first time at Maintenance Management School. Boys from Maintenance Management School, ladies, you there? All right, I know you're there. She was inspirational, and she continues to inspire people, the profession, up and down the state by just telling her story and asking you to tell yours. So please put your hands together for Miss Marie Knight from the city of Huntington Beach. The last award, thank you. I know this person's actually here, which is kind of cool. And I don't know that they know that this is coming, which is even cooler. So, as you see right there, talking about a connector. All year round, I challenge a lot of you folks to connect. There's someone that helped me specifically to make that happen, to make my challenge happen. This young lady, who I've seen in her career grow and take on leadership roles, and now, yeah, it's you. And now is going to take on a role on your state board. If you don't mind welcoming Nicola Christie, come on up here. Nicola Christie just rolled off District 4 as the president. She is my friend, my colleague. I love the fact that you just say yes whenever I ask. Not right now, but thank you. Thank you so much for being a connector for all of us and being a part of our profession and making it that much better. This is for you, and I thank you so much. Thank you. She's been in here all day, didn't know it. This is cool. So speaking of connections, how do I measure that year? I measure it in connections, this third way. This year you were challenged, CPRS was challenged to take 5 minutes a month to connect with another professional, to intentionally connect with another professional. Over 500 of you took on that challenge officially, and countless of you others took on that challenge. You coached each other, you worked through decisions together, you talked about promotions together, you talked about significant things in your careers, and you sharpened each other. As iron sharpens iron, professionals sharpen each other through this program. It was 5 minutes a month, which I knew took more than 5. You did site visits. Some people went to one zoo, Deer Hollow Farm, to Folsom Zoo. People kind of connected. They assisted through personal issues because that's how things went. Helped to facilitate trainings. Encouraged people to get involved in the board. Helped to rebrand marketing campaigns. The Fresno Parks and Recreation Department, or Parks Department, Sarah Hamilton and her crew out there, they said, this is such a cool idea. We're bringing it into our agency. We as an agency are going to get this together. They took the Take 5 basket into their lobby, made sure that staff dropped their business cards in there, if I'm getting the story right, so that at the end of the month they can randomly connect people and keep them connected so that their agency is stronger. Fresno Parks employees have the opportunity to get to know each other more and be stronger. There's a couple of ladies out there that throughout this whole year, Lizzie and Brittany, I know you guys are out there. Lizzie and Brittany, NorCal meets SoCal. They together were sharing their achievements and their challenges. It started off like one was excited, the other one's like, is the other one gonna be excited? Can we meet? Can we talk? They actually started their professional relationship. One does multiple program areas, the other one does aquatics, both coordinators. They bonded over their profession. Then they bonded over because Lizzie had a wedding and they had budgets to talk about and other things, so they helped each other. They grew to need each other professionally and personally. They sharpened each other. Today was the coolest thing right here. They met for the first time, face to face. One of the coolest things to see, two professionals look at each other. The funny thing is, they're like, oh my God, you have glasses. I'm like, really? That's how you guys do it? I guess one didn't have glasses and pictures in the other one, so it was really cool. I'm so excited that the two of you guys had a chance to meet and grow and bond, and please continue to sharpen each other. It's great. The Take 5 challenge continues. The rec section, woo! And the admin section, yeah, there they go, yeah. They're excited, trust me. The admin section, both of them today, they will have boxes in their booths so they can continue on. If you are interested in connecting with another professional and sharpening, we will connect you with them. Drop your business card in there. We will make those things happen. Take 5 will continue on for each one of us to continue to sharpen each other. We will connect. That's how we'll do it. Last year when I started off things, I shared a quote with you. A life is not important except the impact it has on other lives. A life is not important except the impact it has on other lives. That was not a quote about me or anything about me. That was a quote that I found because of you, because of the impact that you have on the lives of the people that you serve, and more importantly, the impact you have on the people that you serve with, which is the people of CPRS. You people are amazing, and you got to know it. If you don't know it, hey, psst, you're amazing. stand strong together, continue to connect, continue to impact other lives. CPRS, thank you so much for allowing me to be your president. Thank you so much for a great year. I love you. How do you measure a year? You measure it with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your leadership this last year, Henry, and to our 2018 and 19 Board of Directors. Okay, I am standing here amongst royalty over here. Many of you have spoken to them on the phone. Perhaps you don't know what they look like, but now you do. Meet your headquarters staff right here. Aren't they good looking? I know. Now, she's going to not be very happy with me about this, but I have to introduce you to this lovely lady. This is Cheryl Coyle. She has been working with CPRS for just about 15 years now, and Friday is her last day with us. I know we feel the same exact way. We've been crying for the last 2 weeks. If you see Cheryl out in the lobby, please give her a hug and wish her well and tell her thank you because we love her and we are going to miss you dearly, Cheryl. Thank you for all your service. Mwah. Our next guest on stage is all about service to the community. Oh, excuse me. Get back to work, people. Go, get out of here. Go on. All right, very good. Now we can move on. Our next speaker on stage is all about service to our communities. Please give a warm welcome to Ramsey Jay Jr.
Did you realize that you were a champion in their eyes? Yes, I did. So I packed it up and brought it back to the crib. Just a little something to show you how we live. Everybody doing it, but it ain't that serious. That's that shit.
Good morning, champions. Good morning, champions. Good morning, champions. Good morning, champions. Before I begin, gratitude is the posture that I occupy the stage with this morning. Gratitude means you say thank you to the people that do what you do so I can do what I do. And you say that before you do what you do. You do not say it on your way out. Gratitude is the posture that I come to you with this morning, saying thank you for what you do to allow me to do what I'm going to do for the next handful of minutes. If you don't do what you do, I cannot do what I'm here to do. I don't say thank you on the way out. When I'm done, I say thank you before I begin. Gratitude is my posture for you this morning. I have 3 requests for you to do before I get going. I would like for you to look to your neighbor on the left, and I would like for you to tell your neighbor on your left that they look good in the present. They look good in the present. They look good in the present. All right? That's good. Thank you. Now, I know you're looking at me and you're saying, well, what about the other neighbor? So I want you to turn to that other neighbor on the right and tell them that they look good in the present. They look good in the present, all right? So I said there were 3 instructions. Last instruction now, and this is the one you should really get excited about. I would like for you to look at both of your neighbors and tell them, but I look better in the present. But I look better in the present. All right, but I look better in the present. We'll be purposeful, but we wanted to have a moment of levity in a great gathering that you have here. On the screen, you're going to see a number 20. On the screen, you see the number 20. 3, 19, 3. 23, 19, and 3, CPRS. 23, 19, and 3. Arbitrary numbers that have no meaning, no substance as they are currently presented. We do not know what they mean. They are meaningless, but this is a moment that matters. It's a significant moment in time. These moments matter, and I'm asking for your opportunity in this present moment to be fully aware, fully dialed in for the present opportunity to recognize the greatness that's in this room. These 4 numbers are simply arbitrary as you look at them right now, but they will never be the same 4 numbers once you leave here today. This is the present. 20 represents the 20th day of the 3rd month of the 19th year of the 3rd millennium. That is today. It is a day, it is a moment, it is one that will never come again. This is the 20th day of the third month of the 19th year of the third millennium. It is a moment that will never come again, that we are all gathered at one place at one time to recognize the greatness of this CPRS organization. May I say good morning to you on this historical gathering today. Good morning. If you see the word on the screen, look at that quickly. What word do you see, CPRS? Say it out loud. Keep looking at that, because at this present moment, recognize that there is more value with you at this present time than you even recognize how great you are. For if you look closely at victory, you actually see the word defeat is within the word victory. Same picture. You see 2 times the value if you look at it closely. You will never look at that picture again the same way again. You want to see it again, I think, right? Somebody doesn't believe me. I didn't change it. Victory. Keep looking, and you see defeat as well. My statement for you. I would like for you to give me 30 seconds and memorialize this statement that I'm going to read to you on the screen as we begin. 1903. This year marks the anniversary of the California Parks and Recreation Society undergirding the state's public parks and recreation industry for the past 73 great years. Importantly, CPRS unites each of you, civic champions, with the noble charge of service within the industry being your vocation. At this present and defining moment, let there be no doubt that you are human bridges comprising a formidable team that has selflessly permissioned 40 million Golden State citizens in the state of California to gather and erect communal guideposts which foster an ecosystem inherently equipped to function for the benefit of others while simultaneously memorializing enriching eternal relationships into the future. That is who we are here to say in the present. That is what's happening right now. And I think as we think about that, let's talk about your parks and recreation system in the present. Because when you think about it, you see this picture, it's just a park. But underneath that park is what it really is about. You see the kids who learn how to build relationships. You heard somebody talking about learning to play. You talked about people who are different than you coming together. It's at the parks where we learn to connect and fellowship and build friendships and alliances with one another. It is not just a place. It's not just a park. It's a place where we learn to build relationships today that ultimately last a lifetime. That's what happens at parks and recreation facilities. Never think of it as just a park with a sign. It's guideposts to building relationships and life lessons that last a lifetime. And that is happening in the present. Next one, when you see this, it's not just a table and chairs and a barbecue pit. How many people have the opportunity to say it's at the park and recreation where we gather in the present to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, seminal moments in life that become memories that last a lifetime. This is a place that we gather to celebrate memories that we'll cherish and pass on from generation to generation. That's happening right now in the present. It's at the park and recreation system where we have community centers that look empty and barren as they are right now, but when you put it to life, you actually find out that's the place where we gather and we recognize our local community heroes and sheroes. The peoples in our cities that actually make our cities work and function, we recognize them at the community recreation center. That's where the local heroes and sheroes are recognized. Today, Parks and Recreation, they're the place where we gather and build relationships and friendships. It's the place that we gather to celebrate momentous opportunities and lifetime achievements. And it's the place where we gather to recognize our heroes and sheroes. That, friends, is happening in the present. But it has to be personal. Pop quiz for you as I make it personal. Which one am I? Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Let me help somebody out. Let me help somebody. It's the one with the circle. Somebody in the back is struggling. It's the one with the circle. Somebody needs some help. Let me help you out, CPRS. That is Ramsey Jay right there with the circle on it. That is the 4x100 relay team down in Ventura County, the fastest group of 7th and 8th graders several years ago. That is Mike, that is Scott, and that is Chris. And as you can see, friends, behind that stadium is a park. That is a Royal Verde Park. And that is where your speaker right now spent hours and hours of my childhood. It was a public park where I learned to make friends that didn't look like me. It was at a public park where I learned to build friends that lived on the other side of town. Friends, they had other belief systems. Yeah, it was about track and field and running, but it was about learning how to build friendships and relationships with people who were so different than me, and we did it at a public park and recreation system, and we built friendships and alliances that last to this very day. So what am I saying? I'm saying if you don't do what you do, then this doesn't happen for me back then. That's the past. But if I fast forward now, some 25 years later, this picture has now created that reality. This is the varsity recruiting class at Fresno State. This is us at our homecoming game just last year. That is Demetrius, that is Ruben, that is Chris, that is Jimmy, and that is Brandon Taylor, your Region 3 board president, in the picture. And all I can tell you is all 4 of those guys have the same picture that I have back when they were child. They did the same thing in the parks and recreation 20 to 25 years ago. And because they had the opportunity to play in those parks and build those friendships, now it's a reality that we can have this picture some 25 years later in the present. But if you don't do what you do, then we couldn't play in the parks when we were young kids, building those relationships and alliances, and now having the opportunity to have this picture be our present opportunity. It's because of what you do that we have this present memory and relationships and a brotherhood that last a lifetime. Last one as I close, that is the youth soccer team where I also grew up. That's where we practice in the field behind us, and as you will see 3 circles come up, that is my coach and that is my father. My father, a public service employee like you, 40 years providing affordable housing to folks in the community that we grew up in. He was also the guy who went off and coached these young guys for 15 great years. We have so many memories where we played in those parks and built those friendships and relationships. It was at those parks where we had barbecues after the games. It was at those parks where we got our awards and our medals. It was at those parks where we celebrated milestones and victories. And it's still at those parks today when all the fellas want to get together. We get together at the same park that we used to play soccer in to this day. It's because of what we did back then, because of what you've been doing, that we can still celebrate those reunions in the present. Now, you should be asking, why is there a 3rd circle that's open? That's not a typo on the screen. It's supposed to be there. That's a circle for all of you. It's a circle for all the people who don't always get recognized because of what you do, and we don't always say thank you. It's a circle for all the people behind the scenes that don't get the credit. It's for the person that lines those fields that we play on, that cleans the restrooms, that cleans the barbecue pits, the person in the front office, the person in the back office, who doesn't always get their name called. I want to tell you on behalf of everybody in the present, we see you, we know your name. And in the final analysis, it also has a duality to it because that also represents the mother that I have in my life who's been doing that for 40 years. And I will tell you as I close, the only reason that we have this picture in the present of my family, my mother, my father, 2 individuals with 80 years of public service, just like many of you, is because they had the opportunity to build that relationship with their son who now speaks for you on this stage with passion that I do not apologize for, because of you. It's because of you. And it's because of you that this picture is even able to come true. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to have a picture like this because of the service that we have been able to render from you and the work that you do in the parks and recreation system in the state of California. In the final analysis, I said it as I began and I will say it as I close, and I want you to understand and appreciate what I'm trying to tell you. If you read this the same way again, you should never read it the same. Final part of it simply says, at this present and defining moment, let there be no doubt that you are human bridges comprising a formidable team that has selfly permissioned 40 million citizens in the state of California to gather and erect communal guideposts which foster an ecosystem inherently equipped to function for the benefit of others while simultaneously memorializing, enriching internal relationships into the future. That is who you are. So we'll close by simply saying this. 23-19-3. Today, the 20th day of the 3rd month of the 19th year of the 3rd millennium, we just want to say thank you for your present. 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 You are making this world a better place today, tomorrow, and into the future. God bless you all.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ramsey. You can share that passion with us any day. Thank you so much. Now, we ask on your registration form how many of you are first-timers here at conference, and we had over 500 people mark that box. Now, if you're a first-timer, stand up. If you're a first-timer, look at these folks. I know. I expect every single one of you in this room to meet somebody who is brand new here at conference and take them under your wing and show them what conference is all about. Help them enjoy their complete conference experience. This past year, our awards committee worked really hard to make sure that we were recognizing our outstanding new professionals. And here to introduce you to our 2018 Rising Professionals is your president-elect, Liddy Gutfeld.
All right. How we feeling? Oh, no. This is Liddy. How we feeling? Yes, I have the blessing to announce these two professionals. Now, the Rising Professional Award isn't given every year, and it's something that somebody has to say, hey, I got somebody who's pretty darn good, and he or she should be recognized. So, I'm going to go ahead and start off with our very first one. Scott Baker, get on up here. Scott Baker is from the city of Mission Viejo. However, he is a Recce for life. He started when he was 14. He's worked for many different cities, but I am very lucky to have him work for my city in the city of Mission Viejo. He is an exceptional worker. He is one of those that finds the problems before they are problems, and he has the solution ready to go. Not only that, he's also served in leadership capacities at District 10. He's won 1 million awards with SMAF, and I gotta say, you are so deserving of this award. So ladies and gentlemen, our first Rising Professional, Scott Baker. Our next lucky recipient, she's getting real familiar with this stage up here. Nicole Acquisti, come on up. Now, you've heard a lot about Nicole. She is the connector, but I have to say, she started her recreation career in the city of Redwood City, but she is currently a coordinator for the city of Pacifica, and she, as you all know, has served in many leadership positions, but she's now joining our state board. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Acquisti. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our Rising Professionals. Did you know that we're trying to name a Rising Professional from every single region in our state? Think about that next year when we are looking to nominate folks for our Rising Professionals. All right, so we already talked about socials being one of the highlights of our event, right? Yes, and we've got a little party going on this evening. And so when we were putting together our conference committee, I thought, who better to plan a party than Mr. Party Planner here in Sacramento? Here to tell you just a little bit about our event this evening, Mr. Todd Sebastian.
So really quick, every single one of you better give me a lot louder applause because I'm responsible for each of you getting a free cocktail tonight. That's what I'm talking about. So really quick, the great thing is too, there is no rain through tonight. Yes, so 6:15, you're gonna pick up this card and go to the lobby. Matter of fact, hold on one second.
Oh, wait, what's happening? What's happening? I don't understand. I think, there we go.
So many of you, and instead of trying to sit there and explain it to you, I figured because of my healthy physique and my quick running pace, in the next minute and a half, I'm gonna show you everything that we are gonna do tonight on the best ever opening party for the CPRS. You ready, my friends? Dilly dilly! All right. Now you're coming out of the convention center. Remember, West Lobby, 6 o'clock to 6:15. The only booth I could spend at for hours and hours was Playcore. And their product's so awesome. And guess what? They're also the sponsor tonight. What are the odds I have this play court in my book? It's just also so convenient. We are at our first stop, downtown in Vine. We're walking. All right, so we are now at Crest Fresh Eats, best Mediterranean food in Sacramento. Loop through, right through the patio. Get your beverage of choice. All right, stop number 3. One, several of you will be liking to come back to Brew Co. Tap Room. Man, it's bright out here. Oh, wait, what? What are the odds of this? It's just a play court hat just sitting on a cone. Stop number 4, Sauce Barbecue. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up these stairs. Not all the stairs, only one flight. And we're gonna hang a right, and you are in to a party like you've never seen. Get ready for live karaoke, get ready for bowling. If you wanna play darts, video game, 10-man foosball, we got it all. Plus some more food for you to enjoy. That's all locally sourced and farm to fork. Let's fill up this play court, Bob.
Look at him, here he comes.
All right, so 2 things. One, really quick, we got a very competitive bowling tournament going, all the districts and sections. I want to hear you talk all the crap all day long. That's awesome. Second of all, most importantly, again, let's get a list. Who wants to win a $400 gift card to Southwest Airlines right now? Let me hear you. I can hear you. Well, good, because when you fill this out tonight, you can win it there. So that's awesome. Thanks for your energy, though. All right, have some fun. We'll see you tonight, 6 o'clock.
Woohoo! Nice. Oh, thank you so much. I think it's going to be a fun party tonight. What do you think? All right, the only way to top that energy is to bring up one of our CPRS favorites. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Jim Wheeler.
Good morning. If you're not inspired by all you've seen this morning, I want you to take 2 fingers and put them in your carotid notch. Because if you don't, the only reason you wouldn't be is if you didn't have a post. It's my honor to install the 1920 CPRS Board of Directors. As I call your name, please step forward. Doug Grove, Council of Sections Representative. Chris Chamberlain, Council of Sections Representative. Frank Carson, Region 5. Helen Hernandez, Region 4. Brandon Fleet Feet Taylor from Region 3. From Region 2, Julene Flanders. And from Region 1, our very own Cindy Bagley. Secretary Treasurer, Nicola Christie. Our newly elected Vice President, let's hear it for Tom Hellman. And our President-elect, Tara G. The annual installation of these officers is significant for this profession and our society. These individuals provide the vision and leadership to advance the park and recreation profession within the state of California. To you, our leaders, few professions impact and touch as many lives as parks and recreation. You have chosen public service with all the satisfaction and rewards that come with that. The important role you play in ensuring equitable services, health and wellness, socialization, and nature education, and so much more to all of our diverse communities cannot be discounted. From the hundreds of special events that strengthen community and sense of place, to the miles of walking trails, paths, bikes that promote active and healthy lifestyles, to the management of our open space that serves to protect environmental resources, you, on this stage and in this room, are the driving force in the profession that delivers essential services to our communities, 24/7, 365 days a year, and I want to thank you for all the work you do. All right, you guys better not disappoint me on this. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I state your name. Perfect. Do promise that I am dedicated to the success of the members of the California Park and Recreation Society, that I will cultivate an outward vision, encourage diversity of viewpoints, and ensure there is open communication with each other and the members. I further promise to make the journey an enjoyable one for all of you. You get all that? You may lower your hands. CPRS Board of Directors, your peers have elected you as a representative in your respective leadership positions. As a board member, you're responsible to fulfill the duties of your office. You are entrusted to follow the bylaws of the California Park and Recreation Society. For the achievement of the goals and programs of the society are now firmly in your hand. By the authority invested in me as CPRS as your past president, I hereby declare you duly installed officers of the California Park and Recreation Society. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your incoming CPRS president and my good friend, Liddy Gutfeld. Okay, we're going to try not to cry, Liddy.
It's going to be rough.
I know. When you asked me to do this, I was honored. I can't say anything else. So I watch the news every morning, mostly for the weather forecast. This morning on a local channel, the weather person said that it was likely to rain, there could be hail, and believe it or not, conditions are perfect for a tornado. And I'm going to tell you right now, I thought to myself, wow, how did they know we were installing Liddy today? When she asked me to install her board and herself, I was honored. And immediately began to reflect on the amazing journey this incredibly strong woman has traveled. From her beginnings as Hollywood's first female ranger, to her journey through Irvine, and to her current position as Recreation and Community Services Manager for the City of Mission Viejo, a couple of words always come to mind when I think of Liddy. Passion. Her passion for our profession and service to her peers is unequaled. As a local leader in CPRS district and sections, to her current work on the state board, Liddy is a positive force and a very outcome-oriented leader. I love that about her. It is appropriate we install her during National Women's Month, as her work in leadership in Women in Leisure is enviable and showcases her continued willingness to give more and more of herself for the greater good of our profession. I am not sure there are any awards she has not received from that amazing organization. Then again, Liddy's received recognition for her outstanding work in the aging section, her local district, and many others. I've had the pleasure of watching Liddy grow over the years and can tell you, you are in good hands. Liddy Gutfeld is ready to lead CPRS. Members, you should be fired up to hand over the reins of this powerful force of leadership to Liddy. Liddy loves leadership. She's one of the most informative and entertaining people I've ever heard speak on leadership and the subject in a long, long time. Her recent completion of her Master's of Public Administration only strengthens her knowledge and feeds her abilities. She speaks on leadership across the country, and we should be grateful that CPRS will be the benefactor of her desire to continuously improve herself and those around her. Liddy, I am so proud of you. You will lead with success of our members in mind, You will advocate for our profession. You will make sure that education and training is one of the main factors that the society provides, and it will help make CPRS the finest association for park and recreation professionals in the country. It is now my pleasure to install you as the 2019-2020 CPRS president. No, you got to go through. So you do have to raise your right hand. The road to leadership requires dedication and vision of what the future can be. Liddy, in preparing for your presidency, you've served as vice president, president-elect, and you're now prepared to take CPRS's highest leadership role as president. Serving as CPRS president is an amazing adventure that will expand your horizons and provide you great professional and personal satisfaction. Right, Henry? It's incredible. Directors, your responsibility is to ensure integrity and fulfillment of the CPRS bylaws, the board's policies and responsibilities, and to represent CPRS to outside interests. Do you promise to uphold the bylaws and policies of the California Park and Recreation Society, as well as the duties and responsibilities of the Office of President?
I will.
She will, yeah. Congratulations, members. I now give you your 2019-2020 CPRS Board President, Liddy Gutfeld.
Let's hear it for Jim Wheeler. Okay. So I didn't think I was going to be nervous because I love speaking, but holy moly, there's a lot of you out here. I am so excited. This is such a great opportunity, and I'm walking around, and it looks like you guys are out in a circle, and I'm in the middle of a mush pot, and it's like the biggest duck, duck, goose game I've ever played. It's the best place to be. I'm so excited about this year. We're going to kick off some great new messages that are going to motivate you and hopefully get you inspired to make this conference the very best one yet. And you're going to go back to your communities, and you are going to kick ass. Yes? All right. First president to ever do that on stage. All right. So I want to start a little something that's fun, though. So you guys all have to play along. You guys good with that? I'm sorry. Are you good with that? All right, now Ramsey had you look over to your right and to your left and tell somebody they look good. I'm going to tell you to look for somebody that doesn't want to talk to you. How many of you guys like, or do we have any Eminem fans? Okay, that's good. There's 3 of you, so you'll help me out here. Help me out with the end of this verse. It goes a little something like this. Hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name's Chicka Chicka. Yes, there's 12 of you. Awesome. The song is going to come on, and when that song comes on, I want you to will yourself to get on up because you've been sitting for an hour and 22 minutes. Stand on up, find that person that you have no idea who they are. And instead of saying Slim Shady, you're going to say Liddy or your name. Yes? Here we go, folks.
Hi, my name is what? My name
Let me hear it.
My name is Slim Shady. Hi, my name is huh? My name is what? My name is Slim Shady.
All right. Yes. All right. Settle down. Settle down. Doesn't that feel good? Okay. Good stuff. Some of you guys were like, forget saying hi to somebody. I got to stretch. I gotta work it out. I got to kink. Yes. I am all about the Know One, Be One, Show One of the leadership evolution, folks, and you're going to hear about it today. The most amazing thing happens when you actually get to know one new person. You guys start that connection process. You guys actually start to build your network. And I'm sorry, but was everybody pissed off or were you laughing? There was actual smiles. That whole thing of smiling actually happened. That's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about because we grow as professionals with the more people that we meet. So I want you guys to think about conference this week, and I want you guys to think about that no one portion of the Leadership 2020 evolution that you guys are going to end up finishing this year. Get to know one new person. When you're out in the hallway, if any of you guys didn't hear Frank Carson this morning, he was preaching hellos to everybody that walked through a door. Be that awkward person, because you know what? When you make somebody feel good and you make them feel like they can be recognized by saying hi, that starts something, and you can be a part of that impact. So reach out. We are listening to the responses that you guys gave us in that membership survey. Now, Stephanie made it sound really fun and nice, but she did talk about not all being rainbows. And then Henry said, you know, we're really, really good. So I'm going to give you the failure report. There are some things that we can always improve on because none of us are perfect. But one of the things that we got that was an identified issue in that membership survey was that you guys wanted more communication. You guys didn't really understand what the work of the state board is and how it links to the membership. So this year, that's going to be one of our key focuses. We're going to have an increased presence in communication from our board. You guys are going to see us in a brand new newsletter that's called the Bulletin Board, where we're going to actually tell you what we're doing. We're going to tell you how it benefits your membership. You're going to see us continue the tradition that Henry talked about showing up at trainings and showing up at educational sessions, because that's what we want to do. But on another increase, you're going to see more of us talking to you directly through the Parks and Recreation magazine, on our social media, as well as our website. Everybody good with that? All right, good. So, we are one CPRS and we want to increase your membership experience. But let's be honest. You guys have seen all of these leaders. I think Stephanie said 360-something leaders. We have almost 4,300 members. We have got to be more committed to making sure you understand how joining a leadership position in a great organization like this increases your professional stance. And so we're going to be committed to making sure you understand that there are leadership options for you across the state. We want you to take that risk. We want you to take that dive, because we can tell you, 365 of us can tell you, there's a lot of good stuff that happens when you become a leader. Every single promotion I've ever gotten, every single great interview I've ever had has always had another CPRS leader across the table from me. That's that connection, and you guys can have and be a part of that. Our second key message is that we're going to be your connection to the people and to the resources that are going to make you the better professional. We want to make sure you are educated, engaged, motivated, and inspired. And we're going to do that by giving you these resources. And I'm really passionate about two of them. Now, you've heard the talk about the California Action Plan, but we are going to go ahead and talk about it one more time. This California Action Plan is a living document. It's literally made for you, the owners. You are our owners. The work we do is directed by you. So if we hear from you saying we want more resources, we're going to give them to you. And we created this amazing CAP. It's a great tool. It's got 5 strategies, whether you want to innovate, communicate, collaborate, advocate, and evaluate. And these tools are all available for you on cprs.org. So go on there this week. I challenge you to be that one step up leader, because this stuff is next level stuff. This is how you get yourself prepared to be that next level leader. So be a leader and check it out. Another excellent resource is, can I hear it from my sections? Where are you at? This is like the golden nugget of all organizations, guys. I'm telling you, we have got 7 amazing sections. We have got the administrators. Let me hear it. Thanks, Frank. We got aging. Where are you at? Aquatics, educators, development and operations. Hey, all right. Recreation. They're fun. And rec therapy. Yes, rec therapy. All right. So we talked about having 4,300 members. Take a wild guess. How many of those 4,300 are not associated with a section? Shout it out. 1,000. 1,000 of our 4,300 members are not associated with a section. So guess what we're going to do? She said, join a section, people. passionate in the back. I love it. All right, so guess what we're going to do today? You guys have got some amazing leaders that have all bought into this incentive, but today we are giving and starting a free primary membership for anybody who is not a section member. So all you have to do is go down to the expo hall, find the section that you think is a great connection to whatever concentration you're in, get your badge scan, and voila, we give you a free primary membership. It doesn't stop there though, you guys. Just because some of you guys, I've got the 3,300 other members that are a part of a section, you can be a part of as many as you like. You could be like Frank and be a part of all of them. Frank is a part of all 7 sections. But here's the deal. When you're a part of a section, you get more resources. You get more access to trainings. You get to do things that are absolutely beneficial to your career. So I'm going to just tell you about some of these trainings that these sections do. We've got the Administrative Executive Summit, CAMS with Aquatics, Maintenance Management School, Rec Therapy Intensive, Aging Symposiums, Northern and Southern California, the School of Rec, and the educators. Now our educators are doing Rec U. That is 7 intensive trainings held across the state, all for you, our members. Take that next step, go ahead and join a section, and let's make it happen this year. Okay, this is the last part of the Leadership 2020 evolution. It's called Show One. We've talked about Know One, Be One, and we are at Show One. And in my humble opinion, it is the most important part of the Leadership 2020 evolution. The final key message I have for you is that we are dedicated to investing time not only in our rising professionals that are coming up, but also dedicating time to finding that historical knowledge for those of you guys who are on your way out. I have 2 challenges. This past week, I've had the opportunity to meet with all 22 section and district presidents, as well as meeting with the state board yesterday. I have thrown down the gamut. I have told them I have these 2 challenges, and they are going to happen. As Jim said, I'm outcomes. All right, challenge number 1, and it involves every single person in this room. Challenge number 1 is called 30 Under 30. At this time next year in Long Beach, we are going to recognize 30 educational sessions that have been implemented and presented by individuals under the age of 30. Those people will be recognized for their work and dedication to the future of our field. Are we all on board with that? So, you might be in the audience and thinking, well, I'm not a leader on a board. You didn't challenge me. I did. How many of you guys are part of a team? Raise your hand. How many of you guys have people that are under the age of 30 that are part of that team? Suckers, you just all got challenged. All right, everybody can do this. Do your part. Do your part to show somebody that they're valuable. Somebody that has passion, that's young, that's coming up. This is the future of our field. This is the future of our workforce. Dedicate yourself to making them better. Be that leader and show them that they're valuable. The flip side, 50 over 50. Yeah, there it is, Jimbo. 50 over 50. Now, if you're thinking I'm going to ask for 50 sessions, no, that's not going to happen. But I have challenged the boards, and now I'm challenging you. Talk to those guides in your life. Talk to those mentors in your life. Talk to the people that you know are on their way out, because they got stories to tell. And I want to have 50 testimonials from individuals over the age of 50 in the next year. And these testimonials don't have to be long stories. They could just be quick experiences that they had in recreation. They can be life lessons learned through work in parks and recreation. Or they can just be like, hey, I hope you guys figure it out. Hope it's all good. Those testimonials we will put in our Parks and Recreation magazine, in our newsletter, in our social media posts, as well as our website blogs. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 years ago, we launched the Leadership 2020 initiative. This is our year to wrap it up. This is our year to show that this initiative was successful. We want to see your leadership growth. We want to hear about all of your amazing experiences and what you do through the resources that CPRS provides for you. But more importantly, we want you to know that it's important that we see you get to know one person, you get to be a better leader, and you get to show some people how valuable it is to work in Parks and Recreation. This year is going to be absolutely amazing. I thank you for this opportunity to lead you all, and I thank you for allowing me to know one, to be one, and to show one. Have a wonderful conference.
The outstanding achievements by agencies who are creating community through programming, park planning, facility design, and marketing and communications. This year's award winners were selected as having best exemplified the CREAM principles of challenge, resourcefulness, execution, accomplishment, and mission, representing our finest professional achievements from this past year. 27 agencies throughout the state are being inducted into the Class of 2018 Best of the Best Honor Roll. The winners are, for creating community, in the category of aging well, the City of Arcadia for Senior Cultural Day Camp. In the category of arts and cultural services, the City of Manhattan Beach for Day in the Life of Manhattan Beach. In the category of community health and wellness, East Bay Regional Park District for Park RX Shine. In the category of economic vitality, the City of Temecula for Global Citizens Viticulture and Horticulture Vocational Program. In the category of environmental stewardship, the City of Mission Viejo for City of Mission Viejo Environmental Fair. In the category of neighborhood community building, the City of Albany for Dinner with Albany. In the category of social equity, the City of Poway for Winter Festival Special Needs Program. In the category of youth development, the Desert Recreation District for Rec Route. For excellence in design, facility design. For aquatic facility, Class 2, the City of Mission Viejo for Margaret Aquatics Complex renovation. For cultural facility, Class 1, the City of Woodlake for Woodlake Community Center in Downtown Plaza. For community center, mixed use, Class 1, the City of Paris Community Services Department for Paris Statler Youth Center. For community center, mixed use, Class 2, the City of Anaheim for Ponderosa Park and Family Resource Center. For excellence in design, park planning. For community, Class 1, the City of San Carlos and SSA Landscape Architects Incorporated for Highlands Park Playground renovation and restroom replacement project. For community, Class 2, the Conejo Recreation and Park District and RRM Design Group for Sapui Trails Community Park. For community, Class 3, City of San Diego and Schmidt Design Group for Cesar Solis Park. For neighborhood, Class 1, Tulare County Resource Management Agency and Odell Engineering for Erlemart Neighborhood Park. For neighborhood, Class 2, Sonoma County Regional Parks for Andy's Unity Park. For regional Class 1, the City of Albany for Olone Greenway Improvement Project. For specialty Class 1, the City of Seaside for Roberts Lake Eco Recreation Station. For specialty Class 2, the City of San Diego and Schmidt Design Group for Linda Vista Skate Park. For marketing and communications, for digital media, video Class 1, the City of America Canyon for America Canyon Student Swim Program. For digital media, video Class 2, the City of Temecula for Around and About Temecula video series. For digital media, video Class 3, the City of Pasadena Human Services and Recreation Department for Recreation Rundown. For digital media, Video Class 4. The LA County Department of Parks and Recreation for Parks After Dark Animated Video. For digital media, Web Social Media, Class 2. Livermore Area Recreation and Park District for the Livermore Area Recreation and Park District website, larpd.org. For digital media, Web Social Media, Class 4. Riverside County Regional Park and Open Space District for Historic Riverside County Mobile Device App. For Marketing Campaign, Class 2. City of Burbank for We Dig Burbank Marketing Campaign. For Marketing Campaign, Class 3. The City of Palmdale for Kaleidoscope Music and Art Festival Campaign. For Marketing Campaign, Class 4. The City of Irvine for Your Irvine Brand Identity in YourIrvine.org website. For print publication or materials, Class 1. The City of Monrovia for Monrovia Today quarterly publication. For print publication or materials, Class 2. The City of Temecula for City of Temecula Guide to Leisure Activities brochure. For print publication or materials, Class 3. The City of Moreno Valley for May the Fork Be With You featured Food Truck Fest. We invite you to visit the Best of the Best area in the exhibit hall to get more information on these award winners. We would like to thank our Awards of Excellence program sponsors, RJM Design Group, Little Tykes Commercial Play Structures, and SVA Architects. Congratulations to our 2018 California Park and Recreation Society Award of Excellence winners.
Don't leave us yet. We've got a little bit left for you. And for those of you who are still in this room, we've got a really great treat for you. So we are talking about the future now. We talked about the past. We talked about the present. And here to help us determine our future, please welcome to the stage Mr. Nilay Bhatt. Yeah. Woo!
What's up, CPRS? So I had this set up for people to actually tweet to me because 5 minutes into the future, I'm actually going to read what you think the #1 trend is. And it's perfectly fine if you don't, because I'm just going to go to the other states and let them know that I've done this in every place, and California is the only one that didn't tweet to me. So just to show you again the handle, @Nilay Bhatt, tweet to me, see what you think is the #1 tweet. But as I want to talk about this as well going forward, right, the future is for us to determine. We heard some amazing things about the past, about the present, and I've been insanely lucky. I've got to live and work on 6 different continents, work for Disney, the Olympics, the Super Bowl, given TEDx talk, coach TED speakers, and best of all, work with park and rec agencies all over the country and all over California. And if there's one thing I have learned and I want to tell every agency here, is that the past is great to learn from, but not to live in. The problem is we still do. We continue to do that, like my friend here. We confuse effort with outcomes. And what I want you to do is, as you go back, you think about this, to say, stop saying I am busy. Ask yourself, am I productive? Am I making a difference? Am I making an impact? Secondly, we in Parks and Rec have never learned to say no. You got a cemetery? I'll take it. Piece of land nobody wants? We'll maintain that for you. Right? A grandfather in partnership? No problem. Right? Till on the outside, we're all like Stephanie, super calm and cool and collected. On the inside, we all feel like this. Right? It's because we treat everything like a priority, and what happens when you make everything a priority? Nothing remains a priority. It's the first call on the Monday morning to the elected official, and that's the fire you're fighting that day. Is that right or wrong? Right? And then, like my dear friend here, we do this. Come hail or high water, we will return the shopping cart where it's supposed to be every single time. And the reason that happens because we don't change, because we've always done it this way. How many of you say this yourself? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you have people in your organization saying this? Oh, now everybody's hands go up, huh? Funny. Now, I don't know much about the future, but I do know this. We've only got two choices. We can either be the force for change, or you will be forced to change. Because change, my friends, is coming. Right? So, as I spoke about tweeting to you, or tweeting to me, I'm actually going to check live on stage and see who tweeted. Oh, the first one is from Christy McClure Huckabee saying the need for face-to-face connection. Go, Christy. Where are you? Well done. And this is Christy's first ever tweet, by the way. Tiffany Starks. Where's Tiffany? Right on. Tiffany talks about collaborations between cities to provide regional programming. Terrific. Kyla Brown. Kyla's right here. Way to go. We are the biggest segment of leaders in parks and recreation, no doubt. These are great. Keep the tweets coming. I'm going to check them. But if ever any of you take the risk of making someone tweet to you live on stage, don't let this happen to you. This happened to me at a conference in New Zealand, and it took every ounce of my willpower not to check my fly on stage, because I knew that person was just messing with me. Oh. But anyways, that's besides the point. Speaking of change, this is what I see happening in our future. We've got changing climate and customers, we have changing financial models, and we will continue to have changing technology. So speaking of climate, California probably has borne the worst of every natural disaster in the last few months we can talk about. From wildfires to droughts, so much that we actually celebrate the fact that after 376 weeks, we're not in a drought anymore. Oh, yeah, there you go, you can applaud for it. Till a few weeks later, this comes out. You want water, you're going to get a lot more of it. Right? And this, my friends, is dangerous. They're projecting that where the Giants play, AT&T, now Oracle Park, if sea level rises, this could actually become this. And I'm sure there are some Dodgers fans here thinking, it wouldn't be a very bad idea after all. Right? But you know where every other place finds a crisis? What I love is that California finds an opportunity. Where everyone looks around to say, who's going to lead? California raises your hands and says, we will lead. If you notice, 4 days ago, 112 countries had kids skipping out of school to protest and speak about their future against climate change. Latin America, Europe, and California. And these kids are what give me hope, because these are our future customers, these are our future advocates, these are our future users. And speaking of future customers, we are rapidly diversifying and rapidly aging at the same time. In 20 years as a country, we are a minority-majority country. California is there already. And what it really means from our standpoint is every one of the agencies here, you've got to be thinking of, one, succession planning in your agencies, but two, also building leaders and mentoring them as well as the millennials come in. Don't talk money, talk meaning. Talk impact, talk difference, and focus not just on equity, but on true inclusion. Focus on how we don't just do lip service and check a box, We don't just invite people to the dance, we actually dance with them. And we make inclusion a part of our DNA. That's the spirit of California. That's what we really need to do in every single place. Along with that, we really need to focus on being sustainable through the power of the customer experience. They say literally by next year, that's going to be the single most important thing, more than price, more than product, that ensures people know you, and in the face of increasing competition, ensure you are relevant. Whether it's customer service, diversity and inclusion training, or even using technology like a number of agencies, Parks and Rec agencies are doing, using apps like this, Happy Feet, to actually provide feedback from your guest in real time and use that to make data-driven decisions for long-term financial sustainability. Speaking of financial models, it's wonderful. We should all celebrate Prop 68. I think it's going to be great, but that's not the solution to every problem. We've got to keep looking for other revenue sources, and we've got to get more and more creative, both on the revenue and the cost side. And I love, this happens all over California. I love how you're leading, whether it's Christy when she started this in Chula Vista with the cost of service work, all the way up here to Kevin, Carolyn, and their team in Walnut Creek, to also just the innovation and partnerships that are happening with whether it's LA County Department of Parks and Recreation, with their award-winning Parks After Dark program with the focus on being world-class, with the City of LA and the partnership with the Clippers to build over 350 courts over the next 3 years, or even what Neil, Angel, Matt, and the folks are doing as well in San Jose with their award-winning gang intervention program. You in California continue to partner and lead the way, and that's what we need going forward. We have got to stop trying to be all things to all people, because we cannot sustain that model anymore. We will have to partner, or you will perish. Speaking of changing technology, here's the paradox of our times. In some ways, we're connected beyond means, and yet we are more polarized and divided than ever before. Today, every person has about 6 devices between an iPhone, a wearable, a tablet, whatever, and yet we are lonelier than ever before. And I think that's where Parks and Recreation make a difference, because we are one of the places that still unite people. As Jay Ramsey spoke about it, that's the place you meet people from the other side of town. That's when you meet the other. Where you are the only, parks bring you together. And that's where we need to ensure we continue the connections. Technology is coming, and California leads the way, whether it's autonomous vehicles, blockchain, cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, or what I think is a massive trend coming forward with esports. This is going to be huge. And I know what everyone's thinking. We're Parks and Rec. We don't want to do video games. That's fine till you see where these video games are played. This is an esports tournament, filling out places, maximizing revenue, generating facility utilization, and most importantly, bringing teens out of the homes and the couches into your buildings. Don't believe my word for it? This is what the owner of the Warriors, and frankly, I just put this there because I know Doug Grove, my friend and the board member, loves the Dodgers. So Doug, this one's for you, right? He says this is the sports of the future. And I want to agree, but part of me says no. I don't believe our future is sports. I don't believe our future is even playgrounds. I absolutely do not believe that parks are our future. And I certainly don't think placemaking is our future. What I really think our future is, it has been, it is, and it will always be people. In case you're wondering, these are my kids. I just wanted their pictures in here, that's all. That's my son 5 years ago. That's my daughter right now. It just makes me smile. But it's a reminder of the importance that no matter the technology, there will never be a substitute for face-to-face human connection. And sometimes all it takes is one person and 1 minute. And I'll tell you a quick story about that as well. How many of you would imagine an interaction with an immigration officer as magical? I'm guessing not likely. And that's what I thought till a couple years ago. I went to New Zealand, and it's a travesty what's happened there right now, because they are among the nicest, kindest, most welcoming people I have come across in my life. But we were there. I was invited to speak at a conference a couple years ago, and it was 2 or 3 days. The trip's far enough as well. So I said, we'll take the family along. I just had a son. My son was 4 years old at the time. So we said, we'll go for the trip. How many of you have been to Australia or New Zealand? Anybody? Okay. With a child? Okay, you feel my pain. I'll give you a hug afterwards. Strapped in his seat for 20 hours. You leave Wednesday evening from Indianapolis to Denver, Denver to LA, LA to Auckland. I got there Friday morning with a 4-year-old strapped in his seat for 20 hours. So the moment we landed, he was ready to unleash, just bouncing off the walls and ready to go. And of course, you got to go to customs and immigration. So we get to the officer, and he's asking me a bunch of questions. Why are you here? Who invited you? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. My son's right next to me. His name's Keon. And so Keon's anxious, he's like, pick me up. And so like any 4-year-old, he doesn't stop till you actually do what he wants you to do. So I pick him up. And at that time, we'd actually just been to SeaWorld in San Diego, so he had a little orca with him in his hand. So he's holding this orca in his hand. He's looking at the officer, trying to look over and see what's going on here, while the officer's asking all these questions. So the officer stops mid-sentence, looks at my son, and says, what is that? So Keon says, orca. He says, okay. Then he says, what's its name? I'm pretty sure in his head, my son thought, duh, orca. But he didn't say that. He just said, orca. Then the officer got real serious. He looks at Keon and he says, does the orca have a visa? Okay, my son has no idea what a visa is, by the way. But he totally froze. Right? Absolutely froze. And I'm letting it play out, letting it see what happens. So the officer pulls something out, scribbles something on it, says, well, don't worry. Now he does. Welcome to New Zealand. This whole interaction took 60 seconds, but he made a connection and changed my impression of an entire country before I even left the airport. That's what you all do. Every day there are people from all over the world moving here. You might be their first interaction, their first connection with a city, with a state, maybe the entire country. And all it could take is that 1 minute for you to create the orca moment and make it magical. Right? So as you think about it, I want to wrap up with a couple of things. I want to show you a quick acronym, and I'll end up with a video as well. As you go through everything else, create your own future. It is in our hands. Be the change you want to be in the world. As Jane spoke about it, don't forget your roots, but also plant seeds for future legacies. Remember your why. We started about this. I want to end with this piece as well. And then lastly, seek and make meaningful connections. This might be hard to remember, so maybe the acronym might help. I spoke about remembering the why briefly. I want to show you a quick video about that. For those of you who've been in the profession a long time, I will remind you of your why. For those of you starting out, I want you to remember your why. Take a look at this video, but before you do, how many of you have heard of this guy, Mike Tyson? Anybody? How many remember Tyson from the 80s and early 90s? How many have heard the name James Buster Douglas and that fight? Take a look at this video.
You can write everything down if you want to. Be brave enough to write every one of your goals down. But I'm going to tell you something. Life's going to hit you in your mouth, and you got to do me a huge favor. Your why has to be greater than that knockdown. And I love it. Buster Douglas got knocked out. Nobody ever got knocked out by Mike Tyson and ever got back up. It was almost a 10 count. He was stumbling. They were 4, 3, 2, 1, and ding, 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 saved by the bell. And he goes to his corner. The whole world is like, yep, that's it. Once he comes back out, that's it. Mike's gonna just hammer him. And exactly that. Mike Tyson came out like, I got him. I got this kid up against the rope. Listen to me, many of you right now, life's got you up against the rope. You can't give up. You can't give in. Listen to me, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if life's got you backed up, I need you to do what Buster Douglas did. Buster Douglas started fighting back. And the world was shocked. Goliath has been knocked down. What happened? And they went to Buster Douglas and they asked Buster Douglas simply like, what happened? And Buster Douglas said, listen to me, it's real simple. Before my mother died, she told the whole world that I was going to beat Mike Tyson. And 2 days before the fight, my mother died. Buster Douglas had a decision to make. When his mother died, he could die with his mother, or he made a decision, I can wake up and I can live for mom. And he knocked Mike Tyson out simply because his why was greater than that punch. His why was greater than defeat. His why was greater than his trial and his tribulation. And I'm telling you, if you don't know what your why is and your why isn't strong, you're going to get knocked out every single day.
Who wants to go boxing right now? This is a great reminder, and as I spoke about this, I want to leave you with this final piece. Is remember your why. Stephanie spoke about this in the beginning as well. Parks save lives. I hope nobody ever has to be in that situation where that is the reason why parks save a life. But on a day-to-day basis, as we look to the future, remember that you're not just providing a park or a playground, you're building a memory and a connection for a lifetime. You're not just teaching a swim lesson, you're maybe saving somebody's life. You're not just providing a senior program or inclusion program or a meal or a scholarship. You're giving somebody respect, dignity, maybe even a reason to live. And you're not just greeting every person that walks in the door at your park, your event, or your center. You're telling them that they matter, that every one of them matters because they are the reason we do what we do every day. And I want to tell you that you all matter. Your work matters, your life matters, your legacy matters, and the connections you do matter. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for all that you do. And together, let's make a dent in the universe. Thank you all.
Woohoo! Nile. Thank you so much to Nile. Thank you so much for sticking around because that was worth it, wasn't it? Absolutely. I want you to tell everybody in here who left early that they missed out on the best speaker. So thank you all for being here. Welcome to CPRS. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hear lunch is ready in the expo hall right next door. So please go and enjoy. And Randy says, welcome to Sacramento. Thank you.
Someone, oh, I wanna be somebody.
somebody to someone. Oh, I never had nobody and no road home. I wanna be somebody to someone.